Hi, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our latest version of Tina's Take on AI. We started with education and we've been moving into business. And I'm really excited today to have Sharika Sanders with me to talk a little bit about her business, what she's trying to accomplish. And it's, by the way, guys, it's amazing. It's fascinating. And I think it's a spiritual journey on personal growth as well as business growth. And so I'm really excited to bring Sharika to everybody today. And we're going to talk obviously about how AI is impacting her ability to connect with people and then also to follow up and to present solutions to them in a way that is personalized for them. And I'm really excited to tell you that this podcast is sponsored by the Growth Stack. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Sharika to maybe give us a few minutes of an introduction as to what is her background, her purpose, and what her business looks like today. So Sharika, over to you.
Thank you. And thank you so much for having me, Tina. I'm excited to be here, excited to speak with you and your audience and share all the things. As you mentioned, I am Sharika Sanders and I own a company called Transform the Gap. And so my background is in corporate accounting. And as I transitioned into this entrepreneurial venture, I wanted something that spoke to transformation, but also a nod to my background. And so Gap is a very well-known accounting term. I didn't spell it wrong. That's what a lot of people say. Do you know you spelled gap wrong? GAAP is goals align achieving purpose for my business. And I work with Christian wives and moms who are currently leading in all aspects of life, whether in the boardroom, in their own businesses, at home, but also in their faith. And they're leading in all of these places, but they're burnt out or in overwhelmed. And so I work with them to overcome that burnout, the overwhelmed, or keep from getting to that point and understand that they don't have to sacrifice their faith for their family or their family for their careers. And this is definitely a purpose driven, passion driven business, and really excited just to talk and explore more about what that looks like in the integration of faith in AI, I guess I'll call it.
It's so funny because I am all of those things except Christian. Obviously, I'm Indian, but I'm a mother, I'm a business owner, I'm a daughter, and sometimes it is overwhelming. Just and I was in fact having this conversation with my mother just a few minutes ago, talking about how I'm dropping the ball on follow up because there aren't enough hours in the day. And so I'd love to hear about how you're helping people like me who are juggling a lot of things
Yeah.
manage that. And I don't mean to have you do that. I'm just like, this is so interesting.
No, you're fine.
What are the things that you're targeting?
Yeah, I was, this was me in my corporate space, and I learned that that opportunity is what those years of experience and that opportunity is what really built the foundation of what I do today. And now on the other side, I understand, how and why I went through the things that I went through. Because a lot of times we feel like I have to get this done. I have to respond, especially when you're new in business and if I need to get, a 24-hour response or a 1 hour turnaround, or this person has reached out, well, let me stop everything and make sure I reply. And so we start to blur the lines for our boundaries. But oftentimes what we've realized or failed to realize is not other people that mess up our boundaries, it's ourselves and not sticking to our own discipline. So who said that you had to respond to an email within an hour or even 24? Your response time may be 48. And if that's the consistency or if that's what you've built, then that's what you built because that's what works for you. And oftentimes we put our businesses, our families, and all of these other things in front of ourselves. And then we get burnt out and we start to drop the ball and we're like, what's happening? I don't understand what's going on, but we can always adjust. I remember sending an email to someone and their email response, they had an automated response and it said that, thank you for your email. I check emails on these dates and I check them in order of receipt. And so I will respond to you as quickly as possible. But, I have whatever other things going on. It was nice. It was short and sweet. And then it said clients get the top priority and then everyone else. And I was like, huh, And then I was like, but why not? Why couldn't she put that? She's letting you know up front, hey, I have a lot going on.
Yeah.
And I think this particular person still had a corporate role as well as working in their business. And it was, hey, I have a lot. I'm not ignoring you if you don't hear from me immediately, but just know, I'll get to you in within this particular time frame. But sometimes we don't give ourselves that same grace. We say, oh, they sent this email Tuesday at 1. If I don't respond by Wednesday at 1, they're going to think I'm ignored. Nope. Go ahead and set your boundaries in place and then try to hold to that. Another thing that I've learned is make yourself the CEO of either your business, of your time, not necessarily like you're the worker of your time, meaning you have to succumb to everyone else's demands of how you utilize your time. So for me, I put an hour for lunch every day on my calendar. And I have to take at least a portion of that time and step away. And I know you say, well, I have the deadlines and I have this and I have all of these things. But you also need to breathe. You also need to eat. And you also need your own cup refueled or filled back up. And how do you do all of those things for everyone else if you're constantly pulling from a place of lack? And so there are little steps that we can, we do. And the women that I work with, whether it's in time management, whether it's oh, well, I have the time, but I'm just not speaking up for myself and putting those boundaries in place for myself, with other people. Or I feel like I owe everyone an explanation if I say no, your no is enough. It's a complete sentence. And if that's what it is, then that's what it is. And you have to be okay with saying it just as much as they are in receiving it.
I have to say this. It's so hard for women generally to say
Yeah.
no, right? It's like a really hard
Yeah.
obstacle for all of us to say no. We feel like we're failing somebody if
Yep.
we don't agree all the time. And
Yeah.
I think it's been a really hard lesson for me to say, I don't think I can do that. I can imagine how having somebody in your corner saying, it's okay to say no. Because a lot of times we feel guilty about saying no, even though we know we
Yeah.
can do it.
Yes, absolutely we do. And there are moments, especially when it's our loved ones or our household,
Yeah.
our, significant others or children, or even more than, sometimes we have it, or a lot of times even we'll have it for the job and those things. But even more so when it's that close to home or it is home, we find it difficult. But you have to prioritize and really put things in perspective. Is this thing that you need right now? And even let's say if it's, our child and oh, let's go watch a movie and it's oh, they want to watch a movie with me and this is quality time and this is a moment that I'll remember for the rest of my life and all of those things. But I also need to get this deliverable out to a paying client who supports our being able to have the movie and the quiet time and all the things. And
Yeah.
so that's when you have to say, well, that's not something we can do right now, but let's set up a time we can. So it's not just a no, but a not yet. And that tends to work a little bit better than now we can say, oh, now I can really just focus on this thing. And I don't have this guilt sitting here because I wasn't able to meet that demand. But then on the flip side, that same scenario can come up and we're checking emails. Oh, I just need to get through these emails. But in doing all the things, you haven't spent that time with your family. You haven't shown up. You have some things coming up over the next few days, so you won't really be there then. So it may be, you know what? Let's take an hour, or we may not be able to watch a movie, but let's catch a show, an episode, or something like that that we can watch and still have that time. So that way you're able to kind of relax, relate, release, have that quality time, and then get back to whatever that thing is. So it's really just making sure we're putting some level of parameter in place because no doesn't always have to be no. It can sometimes be not yet, or it can
Right.
be, give me just a minute, or yes, but a no can be a yes, but not the whole movie. Yes, but maybe a show.
It's very helpful I think, for women to hear that it's okay to say no. Are you, just in terms of technology, AI, like, are you using any tools currently? I mean, I think yours is a very unique kind of coaching
Hmm.
business. So I know there's a lot of different tools out there to help to help in the coaching space. But are you
Yeah.
like, what are you using currently, if anything?
So I've tried several things. You're right, it is fairly unique, and there have been some positives. I would say now it's more so on the social media side,
Yeah.
and helping with content there as far as like, videos or either helping me create an introduction for a clip or something that I've done. So, and as far as using it for things like that, I've attempted to use it to like seek out like ideal clients and that sort of thing. But a lot of the ones that I found, their criteria tends to go based on those things that are checked. I don't even want to say that. I was going to say that you check off on a form, but I can't even say that because, like, if I want to say, well, I want only females,
Yeah.
I work with women who are wives and mothers. It doesn't know how to calculate that. It can give me certain type of roles, maybe, but then I still have to go and do some manual lift to kind of get exactly to what I want. So I haven't really found the thing yet really has been able to like free up my time. I can as far as processes and automation, as far as how the sales funnel and all of those kind of things can work. It's even been beneficial. You mentioned the educational space where you
Yeah.
started. It's even been beneficial to help me organize the sequence for a 6 month plan that I was working on, cohort that I've been working on, but I haven't found anything that takes a lot of that heavy lift off of me when it comes to seeking out that ideal person.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the areas we were talking about, like the growth stack can help. So, I will have a call about that separately. One of the things that I think has been so interesting to me is, AI is developing so fast that there's just so many iterations of it. And that's why we don't do anything custom. But what I find is so interesting is just in the personal development space,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of tools. So it could be like role playing or, so many different kinds of tools to help, or even like keeping a journal or some kind of like way of, I don't know what your methodology is, but have you thought about applications in terms of your actual like, in your actual teachings, like how would you, when I was talking to some of the heads of schools, it's a
Mm-hmm.
wide variety of approaches, all the way from using it to teach classes, some fundamental classes, to using it to or communicate with parents and kids. So there's a wide divergence in usage, and I'm wondering if there's any, like, how are you using it for your actual program yet, or are you sticking mostly to sort of external issues?
Yes, for my program because, like, kind of how I mentioned, I have a lesson plan, so to speak,
Mhm.
but then it's okay, does this flow? Well, no, if you do it this way, then that'll help your flow a little bit better. And then I'm like, okay, and I'm like, well, I was, thinking this is kind of how I talk to it. I was thinking about including these particular lessons within this one, but it also aligns with this. What are some ways that I can have it in both without repeating myself?
Yeah.
So there are definitely some ways that it's helped me to kind of think of things a little bit differently, or even ideas or suggestions that it has helped me to come up with. So absolutely, and on the internal side, yeah.
And when you think about like success in your business, how do you define success?
As a faith-based business, it's not just the revenue growth, while that is important because we still have to eat. While it's not just that, it's also transformation. And so that's also something that I have to make sure I work in, like ways that I can really show or monitor the progression that's taking place with the people that I work with, to say, okay, well, this is where we once were, but now these are some habits or these are some things that have changed, or these are some areas where we still need to work on.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's so interesting. And as we had that conversation before this call, we talked about the fact that, I mean, I think that a lot of women are juggling with a lot of different things.
Hmm.
fact that there's support, and a lot of them are finding faith as a way to cope. So the fact that you're marrying all of that together, I think is really powerful. I wish nothing but the greatest success for you because it's just such a powerful, powerful proposition that you deliver for women. And I would love to help you find clients because I just think and I think the podcast is a great way of doing that. And because I just think it's so powerful and so important for all of us, actually.
Thank you.
So, is there anything that you would like to mention in closing? I'm just going to kind of just do a quick recap at the end. But if there's anything that you would like to highlight about by the way, you're Atlanta based, correct?
Yes, I am.
Do you do anything
And
in
thank you
person?
for mentioning that.
I was going to ask you, do you do anything in person or is it all virtual?
So funny you should ask. Up until this point, it has been all virtual, but I'm actually planning an event for the second Saturday in January, catered to our wives and our moms who are leading boldly as a way to refuel as we step into 26.
Yeah,
We're not going to continue the same habits that had us or have us in 25, feeling burnt out or, oh my gosh, I can't wait till the end of the year, the holidays. I just need a break. Like we're stopping those cycles before we even get started in them. Absolutely. And more to come on that. But January 26th, the second Saturday. And also, I do have a podcast, She Leads Boldly, which new episodes every Wednesday, all major platforms. But again, catered to this audience. I would love any questions or concerns or issues that wives and moms are facing and they want addressed. Please feel free to send them through the podcast and we can address them.
wonderful. Well, thank you, Sharika, for being with us today. I'm really excited about learning more about your business and understanding what a powerful job you do in helping women manage to juggle so many factors, including faith. And leading with faith is always, I think, a great way to ground us. So thank you very much for all the hard work. I'd love to talk to you more about how AI can help you. I think as AI develops, it's going to recognize certain patterns of behavior and be a valuable tool for you to be able to integrate into your coaching plan. So thank you. If you would mind holding on a moment while it resets, I appreciate it. And thank you very much for joining us today.
Absolutely. Thank you for the opportunity.